Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to Weekday Wanderings in Paris. My name is Jacqui. I'm a New Zealander who lives in Paris, and I'd like to introduce you to our Weekday Wanderings. This is something we've been running for a few months now on the private platform of Ma Vie Française, MyFrenchLife, and we are today, as of today, running it as on the public platform. So some of you may be new, some of you may be our regular watchers, so welcome to everybody. So today, well, every day that I do one of these videos, I'm just basically going for a walk around Paris, showing you some of my favourite spots, places I like to go. Bonjour Judy, thanks for joining me. So here we are, it's actually in my neighbourhood. It doesn't look at all like Paris, does it? But here we are on the Petite Ceinture in the 14th arrondissement, the 14e. Okay, so it does look rather wild, doesn't it? And I will tell you why I like to come here. Well, maybe you can guess. The solitude is absolutely amazing. So I'm in fact extremely close to my actual apartment right here. You wouldn't know it, but I am. So I have to tell you a bit about the Petite Ceinture if you don't already know. First of all, the Petite Ceinture was a railway which was established in Paris. It was probably in its height around the end of the 1800s. Yes, it was inaugurated, the complete circle was inaugurated in the 1860s, the late 1860s. It is, Judy says, it's quiet and calm, like forest bathing. It is indeed. Isn't it amazing? So this Petite Ceinture, it originally started as a way of connecting the main train stations around Paris, mainly for freight, but then they also wanted to also link up passenger lines. So that originally started in the north of Paris in the sort of the mid 1800s, and then under Napoleon III, he really wanted to boost things and make Paris this thriving metropolis. So he pushed for this Petite Ceinture to create an entire circuit around the whole of Paris itself, which was finally achieved in around 1867. And yeah, so if you look at today's Paris, the Petite Ceinture runs pretty much just on the inside edge of Paris. So if you're familiar with the Boulevard Périphérique, this is the motorway that runs around the outside of Paris. Well, the Petite Ceinture runs pretty much, I would say, 3 or 4 blocks inwards from that, around the entire periphery. So this ran very successfully for the late part of the 1800s, and then in 1900 a little thing called the Métropolitaine opened up, and what ended up happening was the metro was very successful because it was very much aimed at just passenger travel. So the Petite Ceinture became less and less viable, and by the mid 1900s it was pretty much just down to a few freight wagons, and eventually it became totally disused. So you have this whole network of train stations and train lines which run all the way around Paris that were completely abandoned. And up until extremely recently, so I've been in this neighbourhood, so I'll just remind you we're in the 14th arrondissement here, in this particular part of the Petite Ceinture. They've started to rehabilitate parts of the line. Some parts of the line were completely destroyed for various reasons, whether that have been during the wars or whatever, or due to just general progress. But some of them were just left unused and abandoned, like this part here. And it's really good to see how nature has taken over, which is lovely. So you could feel that you're in the middle of nowhere here. And like I said, this is really nearby my apartment. So the benefit for us is that obviously, you know, modern society has taken over in the form of graffiti here, which you know, has its value depending on your opinions on that sort of thing. But what I particularly like was this part here. Was when I first moved into the neighbourhood, it was illegal to access it. It was all locked off. And look at this art, isn't it great? So it only opened probably about 3 years ago, and they tidied it up a little bit, made it accessible, and a lot of the stations have been repurposed as cafes. And so yeah, not everywhere around Paris has this. I was yesterday in the 18th, so directly north of where we are now, right at the top end of Paris, and at the Métro Porte de Clignancourt. They have probably one of the best examples of the rehabilitation of the Petite Ceinture, which is a place called the Recyclerie. I will post some photos with this when I do a debrief on my walk today, so that you can see how awesome this sort of thing can be. So this is still in its infancy, I guess. It's only been up and running for, like I said, a few years. But what I really love here, look at this, all of the nature. So what's the sirop? We have blackberries growing. Might be able to do some blackberry picking. There's lots of nettle or tea. So if you're into nettle teas and things like that, you've got a huge supply here. I also saw some wild strawberries around. Okay, so why do I enjoy this place? Well, as I said, I live close by, but also with the pandemic, we've been in lockdown a few times here in Paris, and part of that was we were only allowed to leave our homes for up to 1 hour a day in a 1 kilometre radius to do our exercise. And believe me, when you're stuck inside, I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. When you're stuck inside 4 walls, it's nice to get out and enjoy a bit of nature. Within 1 kilometre in Paris, it's not always easy to do, but I'm extremely blessed because, like I said, this is well within my 1 kilometre, and I got to enjoy this on a daily basis. So this is actually the route of my daily walk that I used to take during lockdown. So yes, it's been reclaimed by a lot of street artists, street performers. There's a group of people just down the end here, which you might not be able to see yet, but they're going to be doing a film of some sort. I just spoke to them earlier. I often see musical groups down here practicing, which is great. You obviously have bridges. We've passed under a couple of bridges, but they also have this area here which was reclaimed. You can see this big building here wasn't here a few years ago when I first moved into the neighbourhood. So it's a brand new building, and it's on a reclaimed section of the railway. So we're going to be going under a huge apartment block. So it's a really great place to come if you want a bit of quiet, a little bit of nature. Again, when we were in lockdown, sometimes you just wanted to go somewhere outdoors, and if it was raining, your options were really limited. But here we are, we have a nice covered area here, which people could just hang out. We do have a lot of homeless people who also frequent these areas. Is it safe there, Jacqui? This area where I live in here, my neighbourhood, is extremely safe. I have never ever had an issue here. Sometimes, I mean, I probably wouldn't come down here by myself at night, although it is locked up at night time. But generally, it's all good. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem here at all. When I used to come walking during lockdown, I would literally be the only person here. Sometimes that was a bit of an eerie kind of feeling, kind of apocalyptic, you know, I'm like the last human left on earth. But, you know, there was a bit of, you know, calm and tranquility with that as well. She looks like my mother. Who's that? I just saw a comment. Thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're from. So Terry's commented, Sorry, I've lost the comments here. What has Judy said? Judy has said, oh yeah, Terry said, very interesting. It seems that there's no one else there. As a woman, I would probably be very nervous to walk around there by myself. Yeah, absolutely. Judy, yes, the usual precautions you would take. Right, because we have a large number of people here, they probably don't want me to be videoing them, so I'm going to turn the camera around so you can look at me for a little bit. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, plenty of people here, so, you know, I don't have any issues at the moment, certainly not. Okay, just going to turn the camera around just so that you can see. Up here is the original station. So this is the station La Gare de Montrouge. So you can see the old stairs that once went down to the quay on this side. And if you can see here, it's actually locked off. So obviously that part of the station hasn't been rehabilitated yet. So that's whether they're going to do that in the future, I'm not sure. But yeah. And see, they're starting to put lots of things here. So like I said yesterday, I went to the Petite Ceinture that's on the other end of Paris, in Porte de Clignancourt, and it was really amazing. I had been planning to go there for a couple of years and never made it due to COVID, etc. But I finally did it yesterday, and my goodness. Okay, the screen is blank. That's possibly due to reception issues. We're just going through a big block of concrete. Hopefully you can see me again now. Okay, so during lockdown, like I said, I used to do my daily walk here. These stairs gave me all my cardio for the day. I would run up and down these stairs 12 times. I'm not as fit as I used to be, unfortunately, so excuse any puffing and panting. Okay. So here we are up at what used to be the Gare de Montrouge. So the neighbourhood we're in is called Le Petit Montrouge. Montrouge is a city which is just outside of Paris to our right. Okay, so let's have a look at the Gare. Now, unfortunately, this is shut at the moment because it's August, and in August a lot of shop businesses close down for the holidays. So here's a bit of information on it, which I will post this photo. So it's now called Le Poisson, and Le Poisson is the little thing that they used to use to click tickets. That's how you call it in French, Le Poisson. And so they've renamed the station the Gare de Montrouge. They've renamed it Le Poisson. Okay, so it opened in 2019, and if we go around the front, you'll be able to see where we are. So this is Avenue Général Leclerc in the 14th. Down here, this is Porte d'Orléans. So Metro Line 4, Porte d'Orléans, and heads up towards Elysia, which is just up the road here. So this is Le Poisson from the outside. And let's have a quick look through the window. Yeah. Terry, I hope you can see now. Okay, there's me, and let's look inside. So you can imagine it's very much set up like an old train station would have been. Lots of seating, everything, but it's been made into a nice bar. So yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't take you in there. Like I said, I was in the 18th and looked at their old station from the 18th, and I can post photos on that and a link also with videos to show you how awesome that is. Okay. So that is the Petite Ceinture. So yeah, it's like I said, it runs all the way around Paris. Some areas have been rehabilitated, others haven't, others have been completely covered over. But it is an ongoing process to rehabilitate these places. The the recyclerie at Petite Ceinture in the 18th. They have an amazing system. Everything's very eco. The cafe itself is very eco-friendly. They recycle a lot of stuff. They have chickens which lay eggs, which you can buy fresh eggs from the chickens. And it's just an amazing place to go, and I really highly recommend it. And I hope that Le Poisson opens again very soon. I think they said the 17th of October they will be, August they'll be reopening. So I look forward to that. So I'm just walking down now, we're basically going along the side of the Petite Ceinture, so the large new building that I showed you, we're walking right next to it here. You would love to see the 18th. Absolutely, I'd be very keen to show that to you. I took my girls there yesterday and they absolutely adored it, so I would be very happy to go back and show that to you with my kids, because then I'll show you all the exciting stuff as well, and they'd be really happy to do that. There are other sections on the 15th and the 16th which I haven't been to yet, so that would be something to do, something different. And and of course, like I said, the 18th, and I believe around the La Villette as well, and there's a part in Parc Montsouris, which is basically down the track behind us. So so if you're in Paris or coming to Paris, it's something new. I guess it's old obviously, but it's revived, that might be of interest to people who want to see something a little bit different about Paris. So we're on Rue Friand now, just crossing the road here, and what you can see, is we're over a bridge here, so the building I was showing you before, and this is where we were walking just before. So this is the Petite Ceinture, seen from the street, from street level. Okay. And just to finish off, I want to show you a little bit of Rue Friand on the 14th, and we're walking along Rue Coulmiers. Okay, so what we have here, these are community gardens, okay, which people can apply to have a little plot of garden, and these are all locked off and only accessible by those who have the gardens themselves, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look, here we have some passion fruit growing. Got some tomatoes in here. I had a lovely chat to a lady doing her garden yesterday. She'd been away on holiday and had to come back and save her garden, which had been a little overgrown. But yeah, they're so beautiful and well cared for, and it's really exciting to see this sort of these sorts of initiatives happening in the neighbourhood. So yeah, so there we go. There's the Petite Ceinture in the 14th arrondissement. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed joining me for Weekday Wanderings. Just a little snippet of life here in Paris. Weather-wise, the weather is terrible at the moment. This is no sort of summer. We don't like it at all. It's either raining and windy and cold, or super duper hot, and then it changes again, and we never know what to expect. So you're not missing anything weather-wise, but we do have lots of really interesting things here in Paris. So you'd love to chat with the gardeners. Well, yeah. Well, whether they'd be happy to talk to you or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, it would be a matter of finding somebody here and seeing if they would be open to having a chat. So I will look into that, Judy. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. I usually do my walks on a Tuesday and a Friday at 10:30 Paris time, or sometimes due to my schedule I might swap that over. I sometimes do it on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. So anyway, I hope you can join us again some other time, next Tuesday to be clear, but we will post an event so that you will be able to book in and join us next time. So thank you again, and don't forget you can see us on this, or if you really want to join the private group, you can just apply, and I'm sure Judy will post the link here so that you'll be able to click on that and join. So thank you again, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye.